Today I want to share with you the most common errors I see when players are chipping and simple solutions to fix them. So we're going to go in order. There's going to be 2 setup points. There's going to be one in terms of a focus point where I'm landing it. It's almost a process that I'm going through. And there's going to be one technical point. So nothing overly complicated in this video, but I guarantee better results. The first thing is going to be golfers getting the wrong ball position because of open stance chipping. So what I mean by open stance is they get their body, especially their lower half, aiming a long way left to target. Now, it was taught that way. It was even taught that way when I was a junior and starting to play. But I very much disagree with it, as most coaches and players do now. If you do want to drop back this foot, you should do it after you get the right ball position. So the issue I have with it is inconsistent ball position. Golfers go open and they think their ball is back in their stance. In relation to where my feet are aiming, it looks outside my right toe. But actually in relation to the target line, so the top right flag, the ball is way up near my lead instep. And that often means golfers are too far behind it with their pressure. You can see there, my sternum is actually behind the golf ball. I'm normally not getting enough pressure to my lead side. Often I'm going to be striking the ground early or maybe hitting up on it from there. So what I like to see is a much squarer stance. Feet a couple of clubs width apart, and the ball either middle of my stance or back of my stance is my preference on a chip and run. Very different to pitching, where we're looking to use the loft and the bounce of the golf club. Here we don't need that. We can guarantee ball then turf. So middle or slightly back, squarer stance. If you drop that foot back, do it now. And the only reason it was ever talked about was to get your left hip out of the way. But if you do my second point that we're going to jump onto, you won't ever really need to do that. So squarer stance, ball middle to back. Let me go ahead and hit one quickly. And I guaranteed there, that felt lovely, ball then turf, and it rolled up there nicely. Maybe slightly misread it, but. So my second point is actually going to be my handle position. As I said, if you get this right, you won't ever really need to drop that lead foot back. So most golfers, in my opinion, are stood with the shaft too low, they're stood too far away from it. Chipping is that one time we really want to get that handle up, and I want to try and get that club shaft more like an angle of a putter. So this lie angle here will be around 60-ish degrees. We want it to move up towards 70. So we're trying to move the handle up in the air. That means I can stand closer to it. That means we can start to use more natural forces, okay? Just allowing everything to work as it should. We're not having to manipulate. We're making it much harder when we're standing further away. Yes, I have to do that when I'm generating power, but chipping, we're not. I only need to fly the ball, as you saw there, about 3 or 4 yards. A couple of yards onto the green is all I'm really trying to do. So move that handle up, stand closer. It will mean that the heel of the golf club visually is going to look slightly off the floor. Don't worry about that. Actually, it's better when there is perhaps a poorer lie, because there's less club to get caught up or tangled up in the grass there because the heel is slightly elevated. So number 1 was get rid of that open stance. Number 2 is handle high. Number 3 is going to be about where I'm going to land the golf ball. Okay, so I hit a pretty good shot there. I chose a 9-iron for this because I want the ball to roll more than I want it to fly. I'm envisaging about 30% in the air, 70% or so along the ground, and I felt this was the right club. I will put a link just here talking about club selection. So if you're unsure on what club to take from where, click on that link once this video is finished, and hopefully I can really make that again very simple for you so you get the right club in your hand. I want to land the ball 1 to 2 yards onto the green. I almost want you to envisage, how would you throw the ball? If we had a nice surface, would you throw the ball up in the air, or would you get the ball low along the ground, landing on the green and running? Because that's how I see it, and that's how I want to play it. So I'm seeing something a lot lower. So when I have my practice swings, I'm actually looking at my landing area. Too many golfers, for me, they're focusing a lot time down here, static time at the golf ball. I actually have my practice swings looking at where I want to land it. There's a little bit of a white sort of feather here, and I'm just looking to try and land it on that spot. This should feed a little left to right as it goes up the hill, and that spot is about 1.5 yards or so, 4 foot, 5 foot onto the green. So that's my practice swings, just feeling the swing length. I want to set up to the ball, square stance, handle high. I'm going to have a long look at where I'm going to land it. When my eyes come back, I'm going to go ahead and hit the shot. Now that actually landed pretty much bang on where I told you about, where I picked. So I've either flighted a little higher than I thought, or I've actually chosen the wrong club, and maybe I could have even gone down to an 8-iron. But it was still a pretty good result. It's gone up above the ridge and it's got out there to about 4 or 5 foot. I think I can do better, but my landing area is the key part here. Okay, so let's focus in on that landing zone. One more look at where I'm going to land it, eyes back. And I guess I compensated there and I landed it, as you probably saw, another foot or so, and it's just gone a little bit past the hole. My last point is the technical bit. And it's not going to be really that technical, but just talking about method, technique. I see a lot of golfers trying to move the club almost straight back and straight through. Yes, I am looking to get closer to that because I'm moving the club upright. There's less rotation than a full swing. But I still don't want to see this sort of rocking motion where the elbows are working a long way from the body. I'd like my triceps and my elbows to feel like they're a bit more connected to my body rotation. So my shoulders are rocking, but they're also rotating, opening and closing. Simple exercise. What I want you to grab is an alignment stick. Across your chest, just above your elbows. And just, even if you're not hitting some shots with this, just get that feeling of keeping it. I'm not tight or tense to keep that, but I'm allowing connection. So you can see here, this is opening in the backswing, closing on the way through. I don't get enough golfers opening up this chest on the way through. They tend to finish down here. Really allow that body to keep rotating. It might feel awkward to hit some. I'm going to give it a go. Just focusing after that setup, where I'm going to land it, and then rotate. That felt great. That's got to be the best of the bunch, I'm hoping. Maybe a touch too much pace. But that felt absolutely spot on, very much out the middle of the golf club. Hopefully you can see there with that contact point. That was dead center. That helps again by getting upright, getting that shaft up, and now allow myself to rotate back and through. You can see there my chest has rotated, has opened, my hands are past my thigh. Do not start finishing down here like so many golfers. That's not a good place to be when you're trying to hit a chip and run. I hope that video helped. Some simple tips, but what I see golfers get wrong day in, day out, and I know you can take those changes to the golf course straight away to lower your scores. Let me know how you get on with the comments below. Make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already for plenty of content just like this.